Hello YouTube, this is William. Alright, this is the moment that many have been waiting for. Survey results from the 6 models that was going to be put up for pre-sale on today. We had the Field Boss, and this was on the community page of my YouTube channel. We had the Field Boss, the Fieldlore, the Master Outdoorsman, the Master Carver, and the Taskmaster. And as of this video, this is what the percentages were. Field Boss 9%, Fieldlore 39%, Master Outdoorsman 22%, Master Carver was 12%, and the Taskmaster 17%. So the two that won out was the Fieldlore and the Master Outdoorsman. So we're going to put the Master Outdoorsman and the Fieldlore up for pre-order. Okay, now let's talk about this for a moment. The past 2 years has taught us anything, okay? The only reason I am doing this now is because I don't know about materials, okay? I don't know, as far as the backlog is right now, there is no way I can get to these and produce those and fabricate those for at least 6 months. So we're looking at, I'm not even going to start fabrication for 6 months, okay? So fabrication starts sometime in March, all right? Not March the 1st, sometime in March, okay? And I'm going to leave this video up so everybody can go back and review it and understand. I'm not promising anything to start until March, okay? With that understood, please look at the current geopolitical situation, the supply line situation, everything that is going on right now in this world, okay? Because like I said, if anything is, if the past 2 years hasn't taught us anything, it's uncertainty. All right. So I will promise you this. Okay, this is a promise. I will have the materials on hand. I will have everything on hand to fabricate these, start fabrication in March. Now, what I don't control is the power grids. I don't control that. I don't control the shipping. I don't control a lot of things. All right. So if you're willing to take a gamble with me, then they're up for sale. If you have the patience to wait at least 6 months, then they're up for pre-sale. Okay. If you're not willing to do that, then please don't order. All right. Okay. That's my spiel. Let's talk about these. This is the Fieldlore, and this is one of the handle colors that will come in. There will be a selection of handle colors, just like in the Master Sportsman that was sold pre-sold a few weeks ago. This is the orange Sure Touch with blue pins and a blue liner. So this is the Fieldlore, all right? And I'll give you some specs here in a moment. It has the Coke bottle handle, and this, if you have large hands or extra large hands, you definitely want to go with Sure Touch. Okay, because it has a wider handle. It has thumb scallops, as you can see if I can find the camera here. Thumb scallops, and it's a phenomenal bushcraft knife. Phenomenal. Just kind of give you an idea. I mean, the chest lever cuts. I mean, it'll just hog off some wood. And you can get out there on that saber side and just do some fine work. I mean, it has so much control with this knife. Somebody asked me what the difference between a Scandi and a saber was, why multi-grinds. It's because the angle of the knife. If you're going to have the actual edge touch the material, you have to get past that apex, this apex right here. So you have to lay the knife down to where it wants to just bite into the wood. Phenomenal if you want to take off a lot of wood or a lot of material. Then Scandi is king. Okay, but if you want to do finesse carving, slicing those vegetables and things like that, then saber or full flat is best. So if you want a knife with versatility it excels at a lot more tasks, then a multi-grind is the king. It's the best because you have all of those attributes. You have your hogging off wood like a beaver, angry beaver, and then you have your saber side so that you can get those fine detail carvings, your spoons, get on up there and really just get that detail work. Has a tip, has a slight belly for skinning, has the angle for skinning, has a straight for your wood processing, planing, woodcraft type task. Has the tooth for just the you're cutting at different angles at 4 points with a faceted tooth. So if you wanted to do pot hangers, then you just press it into the wood, and it's just a little in no time you have a pot hanger. And this is very crude because I'm trying to get this video where it doesn't last an hour. And you have plenty of time. We're gonna list these pre-order the first runs for 2 weeks, I think. So it'll be from the 15th to the 3rd. Well, let's just go to October the 1st. Just make it round numbers. So a little bit over 2 weeks. So you'll have until October the 1st to do the pre-order on these first runs. And these will be fabricated when fabrication starts in order that they are ordered. Okay. So the first one that orders today, first time, the first person will get theirs fabricated first. The last person that orders will be last. All right. So, but anyway, so you get the idea. So that's what that faceted tooth right there is. Now to give you some specs, it depends on what handle material you get. But if you get Sure Touch, then the width of the handle is going to be about 1 inch. And my card is going to be slightly less than that, probably about 7/8 or maybe even 3/4 thickness. So, and you have to realize that all of these are handmade, so these are going to vary somewhat. Okay, they're not going to vary a whole lot, but they will vary somewhat. The length of the handle is 4 3/8. The length of the blade, the cutting edge, is 4 3/8. The width at the tooth is let's say 1 1/4. Let's see what else you might want to know. The overall is 9 1/4. That includes the extended pommel, and that's to protect the handle if you wanted to drive for any reason this knife into something, into a stump or something, so that you can do some of the bushcraft tasks that requires a stable blade. Okay, it has, like I said, the angle on the tip, phenomenal. Field game prep. It has the angle on the blade here, so you can do your kitchen prep, your chopping, and your hand is out of the way, like so. Has that straight part, so you can actually, it works kind of like a chef's knife. So if you look at this part here, it's very reminiscent of a chef's knife. Tip is a little bit different, but the rest of it is on that angle like a chef's knife is. So there's a lot of things going on that design. Okay, because you have a very fine point to where you can get in, and I demonstrated the wood carving ability of this knife in a different video, and I will put that video at the end of this one. So you have a very fine tip that you can get into these very close places and take out that material. Weight on this knife, just the knife, and this is with Sure Touch. Now I didn't weigh it with my Carter because, well, I do have one, I just didn't weigh it. But 7 ounces, give or take a ½ ounce here or there. depending on what kind of handle material you have, but around 7 ounces. Okay. So anyway, they will come in 1/8 inch AEBL, and so that's what the pricing reflects, is 1/8 inch AEBL. Phenomenal knife, it really is. I think that as of right now, this is the best field bushcraft knife that I have used, and I say that about all of them, folks. But I'm always improving. I'm always adjusting here and there, and I think that the Ray Mears tip, like he had, that's the reason it's kind of a nod to the Woodlore, because of that tip. I think that he knocked it out of the park on that tip design. Everything else is WC, from the handle to the grinds to everything else. But that tip, I think that he had something there with that tip. So anyway, there you have it. I love this knife. So the next knife is the Master Outdoorsman, and this one will come in 16th inch Nitro V. This is the only steel that I can get the 16th inch in, so it'll be 16th inch Nitro V. And the specs on it, they will come with 1/4 inch scales, whether I use a 3/16 with a 16th inch liner on the Sure Touch, but they will come with very thin scales. Okay, my idea was that this would be a neck knife, and right now I'm not providing any sheaths for these knives, so you don't have to pay for sheaths right now. But I will say this, that Randy will have samples so that he can produce sheaths for you in leather. If you want Kydex, you're going to send it to whoever makes that Kydex for you. Okay, so there you go. But Randy at Stitch Gear Outfitters, and again, if you want to get on the list with him, you need to go ahead and get your name in there. So go ahead and contact Randy and let him know so he can get the materials for it. Okay. All right. So anyway, this is Sure Touch. This is one of the other colors that it will come in. This is camo, and it will be orange pins and an orange liner. These will have a hollow pin for if you want to use a lanyard or if you don't. This is the bird and trout model of WC knives. It has a fairly, I'd say, a medium flex on the blade. It has a Scandi portion and has a very reminiscent tip of the Fieldlore. It's just a narrow blade, and it's a little bit longer than the Fieldlore, about 1/2 inch or so, maybe 3/8, quarter, something like that. Just a little bit longer, just to kind of give you a comparison there. Weight on the Master Outdoorsman is 3.6 ounces. And again, this is with this handle. So it'll vary slightly here and there depending on if you choose micarta or Sure Touch. But all the Sure Touch will come with a thin liner, which will make it the 1/4 inch. If you choose the standard micarta colors, the OD green canvas micarta, the black canvas micarta, or the natural or brown canvas micarta, it will not have a liner, but those are 1/4 inch scales, so it's the same thickness no matter which way you go. All right, so I mean, it's a nice knife. It fills up my large hands quite nicely. It has a little indentions here, so you kind of have that control, and in the dark, you know which is the sharp side and which is the pointy end. So you know it has that recognition there. Of course, the Scandi with the tooth, just like the Fieldlore, it's very reminiscent of the Fieldlore because I like that design. I think it's very versatile design. Very thin blade. I mean, it's like a laser, folks. For the kitchen, don't let your wives see this or buy her one because she will take it from you. Trust me. So anyway, it's just a phenomenal bird and trout knife. I've got I'm planning a trout fishing trip right now. So I'm kind of looking forward to trying this one out. This one Well, I'll get to that in a minute. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this one is going on the trip with me. Um, I'm hoping the end of this month, first part of next month, to get away for a few days and go on a camping, fishing trip type thing. So anyway, it's in the works. But yeah, I give you some specs on it. At the tooth, it's 1 inch. The cutting edge is just under 5. It's about 4, and I mean, like I said, these are going to vary somewhat. It's 4 and I say 7/8. Overall is 9 and a quarter. The width of the handle is well just over a 1/2 inch, about a 1/2 inch. I mean, it's just enough to hold on to. This is not one of those knives that you're going to be doing a lot of bushcraft tasks, and I mean, it's just enough there to fill up your hand. Matter of fact, if here's prototype C or D right here. That was the final version. It's thin enough to put in your pocket if you have large pants. I mean, these are Riggs Workswear. If you have a deep pocket, then it's nice to just put in your pocket, or light enough to put where's a neck knife, one of the two. Okay, so anyway, okay, that's about it, I think. One thing I will mention is I'm going to place on the website these knives. Oh, and the upgrade option is the rosewood, the dark rosewood with red pins and a red liner like this. This is the other option for handle materials, and it is a little bit thicker. It'll probably be thinned down a little bit from the 3/8 on the Master Outdoorsman, but it's going to be a little bit thicker than the others. Okay, so there you go. Now this one, and with a sheet, is going to be placed on the website. I'm going to place a lot of the prototypes for the Fieldlore and the Master Outdoorsman on the website right now, so that you can go ahead and buy those. So you'll know if you need to pre-order one, or if you like one of the prototypes, and you just go ahead and buy that. So I didn't think it was fair to list these in a few weeks after you've already pre-ordered one. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and list the prototypes, some of the prototypes on the website. I've got this one. This one is C with rosewood, and it'll come with a sheath like this, or this sheath, leather sheath. Also have D. This one is Coyote. This is another color that will be offered. Coyote Sure Touch with neon green pins and liner, and it will come with a little Kydex sleeve like this. This is what I showed putting in my pocket, and it has a little lanyard there. For the Fieldlores, this is A, and this is 1/8 inch Nitro V. This one was A. Handle is has the little bit different handle. Has the kind of Kepardish bird beak type shape instead of the square rounded. Has a little bit in finger groove there, but has a pinch points, and I don't know if you can see that or not. A very comfortable handle. This is teak wood with black liners and black pin. It'll come with a Kydex sleeve like that. But this one was A, prototype A, and this one is prototype B, that has black canvas micarta, has the thumb scallops, has the center mosaic pin, and 3V. Okay, it's a little bit thicker 1/8 inch. It's between 1/8 inch and 5/32. Okay, So anyway, this is the one that I showed in the cut test with C. So anyway, this one will be available. And it has a leather sheath that was kind of a second. You can see it on the back. Has the stitching kind of went off a little bit, but still a good sheath. Has the ferrule rod loop there. So anyway, it has the stamp on the end. Kind of got carried away a little bit. But anyway, kind of a second sheath, but it fits the knife well. So I'm going to list those in a separate listing under the Shop Knives webpage, okay? And there will be a direct link in the description below to that page. And you'll see the pre-order for the Fieldlore and the Master Outdoorsman there for the pre-order on the first runs. This is for the first runs. And you also see a separate listing there for the prototypes that's for sale now, that's ready to ship out as is. Okay, I'm not going to touch them up. I'm not going to do anything to them. They're just they're great knives, been tested. Otherwise, they're phenomenal knives. They just need to go to somebody to use. Okay, all right. Again, if waiting 6 months before they even start fabrication, or if there's any apprehension at all about not wanting to pre-order and put your money up for something that we don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, then please don't order. Okay, will these knives become available again at some point? More than likely they will, because they seem to be popular models, but there will not be first runs. This is the only opportunity to get a first run that is listed on the blade, like so. See the first run there and the first run there. This knife will also be placed on with the other prototypes for sale immediately. Okay, no sheath, just like this. Okay, so this knife will be also placed for immediate ship. This one I'm keeping. I'm going to take them on a fishing trip. All right. So now this one here was made from 3/32. It's a little bit stiffer blade. See, the grind doesn't come all the way up to the top. It's more of a saber grind. Whereas this one I went up with a closer to a full flat. Okay, so it has a little bit more flex to it. This one doesn't have hardly any flex at all. It does a little bit, but it's very stiff. Okay, just kind of give you a heads up. All right, okay. Hang on, let's mention one other thing. This was prototype B for the Master Outdoorsman. You can see this one it's an old one. This was before I started even doing laser. It was hand stamped. You see the blade is indented. But this is where it came from. This was the idea of where it came from. And this is a Nitro V. I'm going to place this one up on the website as well, so that you guys have an opportunity to get this one. But it has a very sharp, it has a tooth. But when I did this one, this was probably maybe 2 years ago. I started the process, or the thought process, on the bird and trout. Anyway, it has a very thick handle. So if you want a lot of handle there, that's it. Has a little bit of flex to it. So anyway, that was B. I don't even know where A went. A might have went, just kind of give you a comparison. A little bit shorter. I dropped the tip down a little bit, extended the Scandi portion. So anyway, that's another one that it's going to be on the website. Okay, thank you guys for all your support. You guys are phenomenal. I couldn't do this without you. heads up, eyes open, folks. Things are getting crazy. Now, it's been crazy before, and everything calmed down. So I'm the eternal optimist. I believe that things are going to, situation is going to settle around, but just keep an eye open. And again, if you have any apprehension at all, please don't order. All right. Until the next one, you guys get in the backyard with a long stick. Be sure and take a child with you. Get the opportunity. And don't forget those plenty of band-aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again very soon.